Hello, hello, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Good morning, Hanan.
Good morning.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Good morning. I envy you who, don't need to woke up that early. I think the perks of working from home is that you don't need to commute anywhere. And I decided to stay home because I discovered that at this time the internet in my house is better than the internet in the office. Yeah, good morning, everyone. Good morning. I hope that you had a wonderful week and you did something interesting. So because we don't have much time in this class compared to my other classes, I teach 3 hours classes. So let's plunge in, okay? Okay. So by now, I assume that you know what is scope and what is quality. So in a nutshell, scope is what we will do, the deliverables, the work that we need to do to achieve these deliverables. And quality, actually, there is no such thing as good quality and bad quality. These are marketing terms. These are not quality management terms. Quality means that compliance with the requirements, or we satisfy the requirements. And these requirements could be implied, meaning that it's part of the product or the unique result that we are creating. It could be something extra that we decided to include to surprise the customer. And as I said, there is no such thing as good quality and bad quality. So when you think of quality, think of a list of specifications, a list of requirements, a list of needs, or these 3 together, and how the project will achieve this list, will satisfy this list. So in project scope management, there are certain steps that we need to do. So we need to plan for scope management. So we gather our things, we have our inputs, and we have all our tools, and we start planning for scope management. The second step is collect requirement, and this is what we will focus on today. Then we will define the scope. Now we have requirements, now we have our scope management plan, so we can define the scope. Be very, very specific. Then we create work breakdown structure. What do we need to do? What are the tasks? And we create some sort of a hierarchy that represent these tasks. Then we validate the scope. We make sure that we are doing the right thing. And then we control the scope. We make sure that we only do what's in the scope. If we do something outside the scope, there should be some trade-offs. Some trade-offs in time, in quality, in resources, in the cost. So that's why it's very important that we control the scope. So we create what is known as project scope statement. And again, today we will talk more about the scope statement. So what's in the scope statement? The project scope statement. So we create a mission statement. We talk about the procurement strategy, how we will procure, how we will identify risk, the controls of the project, how we will plan the resources that we need, what's the approach to execute the project. If we are working on a product, what's the design plan? And of course, the scope, so the specific defined elements included in the work that we will do. This is something in construction. So the example that I'm giving you. So the construction plan, how we will execute, how we will do this, how we will validate the scope, making sure that we are doing the right things and only the required. So here is another representation of what is project scope management. So we have some products, and product scope is different than project scope. Those of you who are in IT and in some fields that require designing the product, you know that there is a difference between the product, what we will do, and the project, how we will do it. So we might include the product scope in the project scope management if we have a product. What are the deliverables that we will include? What are the steps that we will do it? So that was what we talked about last week. So let's see, what do we have this week? So this week, as I said, we will focus on the requirements. What is required in this project? What are the unique results of this project? What are the priorities? We might have a long wish list that we want to do, but we cannot do everything. So what are the priorities? How we will plan for the project. So let's start with a little exercise. Remember HelloFresh, the food subscription or the meal preparing a subscription service? Every week they will send you a box like this one that include all the ingredients of the meals that you will cook in the week, with the recipes and with everything to the portion, cleaned, all the oils, all the spices, everything to your doorsteps. So I want you to go online to HelloFresh website. And I am the CEO of the company, and I came to you and I said, I've been browsing and visiting our website, and I think that we need to redesign our website. We need a new website. So you and your team will go and study the website and come up with at least 5 requirements for the new website. Okay? So let's go into, and I'll give you only 7 minutes because we don't have much time. So 7 minutes, go through the website quickly and decide on 5 requirements to be included in this website. So let's go into 4. welcome back. So, how's your discussion?
Yeah, it was a good learning session, Hanan.
Okay, fruitful. Okay. So, group 1, what are the requirements for the new website or your 5 requirements?
Okay, so we discussed about we discussed about the add-ons which we need to the website. So had captured a couple of points. So the first one is the missing of contact us information. There is no contact us logo or information in the main website page so that we can easily navigate to the customer support.
Okay.
And the next is the logo design. The logo can be a little bit more attractive.
Okay.
And the third is there is no information on the ingredients they are using. They only asking us to specify the number of peoples and recipes per week. And the next point is the font size should be corrected. It's very small for the human eyes. And the next point is that the location is not specified to provide our address in the initial page, but when we navigate to the next pages, we can see that there is a section to capture the address.
So maybe reshuffling the content?
Yes, reshuffling the content. And the next point is the UI is not friendly. It's very confusing.
Okay, okay, perfect, perfect. We are not going to go through all the 4 groups, but we will continue with this exercise, okay? So now we have an initial knowledge about what is required to be included in this project. So we can deal with this as priorities or not. So the list you came up with, this is for all the 4 groups. Are these priorities or not? So the information that you received from the CEO, the information that I gave you, did I give you my priorities? Did I give you a reason why we need to have a new website? So in your discussion, was it easy to understand what is required from you to do in this new website? Yes. That's why we need to start by establishing project priorities before jumping into requirements and coming up with a list of requirements. We need to understand what is important in this project. Then I asked you and your team to go and define 5 requirements. Are you the only people who will use this website? No, there are other stakeholders in this project. So the CEO, the one who came to you and said that you need to, I want you to do this project, is a stakeholder. Users also for this website are stakeholders, and they might have a totally new, a different set of requirements than the ones that you identified. For example, group 1 identified that redesigning the logo is one of the requirements. So the marketing department, they say, no, we are not going to change our logo. We are known by this logo. It would be a risk changing the logo. So now it's not a requirement. The user, well, okay, I don't care about the logo. The logo is okay, but I have other requirements. I want more user-friendly website. I want to see the menu before I commit and go through the plan. Maybe the questionnaire you have is too long for me. Or maybe I require different plans. So can you see that we did not start eliciting the requirements and we did not start on the right foot? So let's go back one step. Let's start with the project priorities and why we should have project priorities. Because we have constraints. As I said, we start with a wish list, an extensive list of ideas, dreams, things that we want to include in our website. We want to have it agile. We want to have it vibrant. The colors are vibrant and blah, blah, blah. But we are constrained by budget. We are constrained by time. We are constrained by the scope. So, for example, this AI integration that the group recommended, it might cost us a fortune, and we are not ready to implement this. Or, yes, we have the cost, we have the means, we have the resources, but we don't have the time. We need to relaunch our website in 2 months. So that's why when we establish the project priorities, we understand what we can do and what we cannot do. And these we call trade-off. We trade this with another thing. So who decides on the priorities? Most of the time, it's the sponsor. The sponsor with the project manager decide what are the project priorities. What are the non-negotiable elements of this project? And when we have, our meeting, we have to discuss these trade-offs. So the priority could be a constraint. This is the budget allocated. This you will have only $50,000 and nothing more. So this is a constraint. So it becomes a priority. Or an element that we can accept. So we reduce something. We reduce a parameter. So when we do this, we can change a little bit the constraint. Or we enhance. We have a criteria or a criterion, and we can optimize this one. You know, the marketing department was working on a new logo. So actually, we can use the new logo without, dedicating resources to redesign a new logo. So we can enhance, we can use this advantage. Or we can say, okay, we have an expert in AI in-house. So we can include him in the team and we can build up on their skills, for example. So I want you to go back again to your website, to your team, and I want you to elect a sponsor and have a discussion with the sponsor on the project priorities. You can discuss non-negotiable. You can discuss opportunities to enhance. You can discuss the constraints that you cannot change. Okay? And I will give you another 7 minutes. So let me Okay. So this time, was it more clearer or more confusing? So group 2, please share your insights with us.
I think it's just not clear. Yeah, we got just a little bit confusion about how about that. But some of the points we just gathered, like
Okay.
budget.
So first of all, did you elect a sponsor? Did you choose someone to play the sponsor?
We missed the part of the
Yeah.
sponsor. Yes.
I act as the sponsor.
Okay. So what did you say? What did you tell the project manager or the team about the priorities of this project?
Yeah, I told the project manager that the website, I need the website in 1 week, and
Okay.
I can afford for only 3 developers. Can't more than that to develop the website.
Mhm.
And the cost which I can spend this, I said like of $3,000, something like that. I can.
Okay.
That
So
is the cost which
you
I can
started
afford.
with the constraints.
Yeah.
Oh my
Uh,
God. And you gave them the 3 constraints, non-negotiable.
Yeah, and also I gave something like I included some scope like that. What can I say? I said something I forgot.
Mm.
Yeah, and the website logo. I like that color. The color can't be changed. That logo. I need the logo exactly. They suggested me that the website logo can be changed. I said it can't be changed. It should be like that. These are
Okay.
some constraints I gave them.
Okay. So I see that you treated everything as a constraint, non-negotiable. So
Yeah.
so you did not give them enough wiggly room for trade-off.
Yeah, but they said that the time can be extended. But I said I need a website in 1 week.
Oh my God, you are a very, very hard sponsor. The idea here is that we want to be very realistic to decide what are the priorities for this project. If we treat everything as a priority, we are very, very rigid, and we might end up not achieving anything. So, for example, if I am the sponsor in this project, I might say, we want our priority for the redesign of the new website is to be user friendly. That's my priority. Okay. I might include some constraints, so I will say, okay, the budget is $50,000. The time frame is 2 months, and the scope, you will work on the scope and include all the requirements that can satisfy my priority, which is a user-friendly new website. So you can, work on eliciting the requirements from the other stakeholders. Okay. So okay, we do this to create a scope management plan. And we will come back to the scope management plan. I want to stay in the requirement domain. So we establish a requirements management domain, plan. And in this plan, the project manager has to describe how we will collect the requirements, how we will analyze the requirements, how we will document the requirements, how we will manage the requirements. So it's very important that we have an idea of how we will manage the project requirements. Who will do what? Who is responsible for what? If we are working on a product, what are the configurations of this product? if we come up with, as I say, a wish list of 100 requirements, are they all as important as each other? Or we can prioritize the requirements so we can work on our trade-offs later on. What are the tools that we will use? For example, the traceability matrix. And we will talk about traceability matrix. So we need to plan for the requirements. So let's start with this. How will you elicit the requirements? So in this exercise, I want you to define who are your stakeholders for this project. Now, all of you know the main priority for the sponsor is a user-friendly website. So maybe the colors is not in my priority. However, when you dig deep with your stakeholders, you find that the colors are very important. Maybe tracking my box is one of the priorities or the requirements as a user. So in this exercise, I want you to go back to your group. First, define who are your stakeholders. Second, decide on how will you elicit the requirements. How will you collect the requirements from the stakeholders you identified? Okay, so let's go back to our groups and have this discussion. Who are the stakeholders and how we will collect the requirements from our stakeholders. Those who are still here in this room, why didn't you join your groups? So Daniel, yes, Arvid, and Maldeep, Amri. Yes.
Option doesn't pop up.
Okay, so which room are you in?
One.
Group. Okay, I will assign you to room 1. Okay, Said and Amrit, please join your rooms. Okay, I'm sorry, I cannot consider you attending the class. You are not interacting, so I don't think that you are attending the class. Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. I noticed some people are switching off their cameras and they are not responding. I even called some names. They didn't respond. And I'm very frustrated because it means that you are not attending. So this is not fair for those who actually attend and who participate. So I will ask you to switch on your cameras right now. And if you are switching off your camera, I'm not considering you attending. So group one, I noted that you were not active as you were in the previous exercises. So you thought that, okay, we finished. See, she called us. She will not call us again. No, the value of the exercises that we do in the class, it's a simulation of what actually happened in the real world. So it would be very, very good and safe place to practice this. So let's jump into group 3. So would you please share with us who are the stakeholders that you identified?
Okay, so I was a stakeholder here. So I come up with an idea of
Okay, you are a stakeholder. Your position, your relationship to this project. What was your relationship to this project?
I'm just a stakeholder.
Okay, so many entities could be stakeholders.
Okay. I don't have any idea about that. My
Okay,
apology.
no, it's okay. No. We are learning. This is a safe place to learn. Okay, this is a question for everyone. What do I mean by the word stakeholder?
They do have any say or impact due to the project's activities or outcome or changes, anything that
Okay.
happens to the project.
Okay, so stakeholders are either individuals or groups that will impact your project or will be impacted or affected by your project. So the sponsor is a stakeholder. The project manager is a stakeholder. Team members are stakeholders. Other departments in the company might be stakeholders. The users might be stakeholders. It depends on what is the project. So for example, if we are building a new community center in a neighborhood, so residents of this neighborhood are stakeholders. This is a group. The city, the municipality is a stakeholder. Could be some activist stakeholders. So when we say stakeholder, stakeholder is a generic term that refers to specific individuals or groups that have interest in your project. Either they impact your project or they get impacted or affected by your project. Okay, so in your case, group 3,
Yes.
you did not identify your stakeholders.
Okay.
So let me jump to group 4. Group 4, did you identify your stakeholders?
Yes, Hanan. So we made a couple of points here. So we
Okay,
thought we didn't, play as a stakeholders, but we, as the website, it's a HelloFresh, right? So we thought sponsor can be our stakeholder.
okay,
Consumers are stakeholders, and our
okay.
vendors
The
and food
users,
manufacture.
okay,
Yeah, the food manufacturing department, and
okay.
also the shareholders are our stakeholders.
Yes, the investors, yes,
Yes. And
okay.
So the requirement from the sponsors and investors is the budget. And consumers' point of view, we need more survey and feedback to implement any,
Survey. I love this. So
Yeah.
see here. Okay, I will jump so I can explain. Sorry. See here, everyone. They identified their stakeholders, and one of the stakeholder groups is the users, the consumers, the target audience that will use the website. Okay, how can we reach them? How we can ask them about the requirements? So one of the tools that they will be using is survey. They will design a survey, they will deploy the survey, and they will elicit requirements here. And I want to, why do I say elicit, not collect? What do you think?
It's because it's opinionated, or probably we need a customer's opinion. So
Okay, what is the definition of elicit?
Drawing out the information from someone?
Yes. Okay.
Because I didn't know the meaning reading the PPT. I went into Google and Google.
Oh, yes. And this is what I'm doing now. So the word elicit, it means evoke or draw out. So there is some effort here that we have to do. So because the word collect, it gives you the indication, okay, the requirements are there and we will just go easy and collect it. But in real life, it's not easy to collect requirements. You can talk to a user and you ask them, okay, what do you want? And they cannot articulate what they want. Or I will articulate it the way I feel it or I understand it. It might be not suitable to be included in your plan because you need to add some more requirements. So that's why we use the word elicit. So let's see some of the techniques that we use to elicit requirements. And let's go back to the list of our stakeholders, and we say, and we judge, is this suitable with this stakeholder or not? So one of the techniques or the tools is interviewing stakeholders and experts. So we design an interview, and interviews could be structured and unstructured. Structured meaning that I have a list of questions that I will ask. So I have a structure of the interview before going there. Or unstructured. No, I will go and I will just have, like a chit chat with that stakeholder and I will see what information I can get. Or semi-structured. So I will have a list of few questions and I can build on these questions depending on the discussion. I can use workshops or facilitated group meetings. So I will invite a group of people, of stakeholders, and I will design a workshop where I will use different tools, ask them to give opinions, and we elicit the requirements. Or like group 4 did, I will design a questionnaire or a survey. I will send it to my stakeholders, and I will receive the feedback. And when we design questionnaires, we have types of questionnaires, and we have types of questions that we can ask. We can ask closed questions. So these questions that have specific answers, they have to choose from, or yes or no, or open-ended questions. So these questions that allow your stakeholders to speak up and to share with you freely their ideas. Also observation. I can go and I can observe stakeholders and see how they interact with whatever pieces of this project. For example, this community center that I gave you earlier. I might visit other community centers and I observe how children use the playground. So I can elicit some requirements without direct interaction with my stakeholder group. Or process diagramming. So I will draw the process or some tools that we use in process diagramming. So our case is a new website. So we might have a heat diagram. So it's a tool that web developers use to know where are the areas in my website that users click the most. So if there is an important piece of information, I will have it in these areas. Or a prototype. So we design a small scale prototype, and by interacting with this prototype, I can change the design, I can add, I can subtract, and I can elicit more requirements. Okay? So these are the tools that we use in collecting requirements. And actually, I have to change it here and say eliciting requirements. And here are, this is a nice slide that I found. The requirements could be needs, something my stakeholders need, or constraints. And that was easy for you when you were speaking up. You always thought about constraints. Or demand. My customer demanded XYZ. So the marketing department demanded a form in the new website to collect visitors' email, for example. So that's a demand. Or a necessity. Can you imagine a website without a home button? So it became a necessity. It's part of the design, you know. Everyone who uses the internet expects any website to have a home button. So this is a type of categorizing your requirements. There is another way to categorize requirements we will talk about later. Who are your stakeholders? So those who will provide requirements and who will collect requirements. These are all stakeholders. So of course, your sponsor, users, subject matter expert, SME, subject matter experts. So maybe we hire consultants to help us with this. Teams and individuals who work in operations. So maybe there is a payment in my website. So I need representative from the financial department or the customer service department. And they will tell us, okay, we can use a credit card, we can use PayPal, we cannot use any other way. For example, we cannot use Stripe or Stripe or some other tool to receive money. These are the only two methods that we can use. So these are constraints. It's part of the scope. Where we get this piece of information, we got it from the other departments. The project manager. the project manager with the team will collect or elicit requirements. Business analyst, system analyst, quality analyst, and other people that make sense based on your project. For example, if this is a construction project, we might have surveyors. Okay. Okay, let's go back a little bit because I skipped a few things. So we elicit requirements because these are very integral part of the scope management. What will be included and what will not be included. For example, the website example that we are working on, we will collect payment using only 2 methods. So these 2 methods will be specified in the scope. If the company uses other methods, these other methods will be excluded from the scope. And the scope management plan includes some integral parts that the sponsor and some people with authorities will sign off. Sign off meaning they will approve. They will dedicate resources to these requirements. And the scope management plan also will include work breakdown structure. What we are going to do, what are the steps, who will do this task, when we will do it. It will also include a dictionary. A dictionary is a document that have a term and a definition. So we will create a work breakdown structure dictionary. So for example, if I will say contact form, establish or design a contact form. So we will define, what do we mean by this? What does it mean to have a contact form? Are there template documents or documents from similar projects that can be used? This is very important. Maybe it's not the first time we redesign our website. So we have templates that we can use again. Change management process to be implemented. So we decided on the requirements. What will happen if one of the stakeholders changes their mind and adds something to the requirement? Okay, Mr. Stakeholder, thank you so much. We will do it. No, there is a process to manage this change. How we will do it? How will the deliverables be verified and which stakeholders will accept them? Okay, I think they're okay. How will the deliverables be verified? Sorry. How we will verify that we are doing the right requirements? And who will sign, who will accept these? How will the scope be controlled throughout the project? It's very important to control the scope. Have you heard about scope creep? Raise your hand if you heard this term before. Okay, we have one. Jaya, will you please jump in and tell us what scope creep?
The requirements keep on changing, so the scope becomes bigger. Sorry.
So cute.
Sorry, my kid is so noisy.
It's okay. It's okay. I had to under 4 when I was doing my master's, so I know. Okay, so Jaya was explaining scope creep for us. So when the scope keeps changing and the requirements keep changing. Creep means expanding, sagging, but in a negative way. So we keep adding uncontrollably to the scope and we go out of the constraint and we cannot control the project anymore. So this is a nightmare for any project manager. One important reason of scope creep is undefined or poorly defined scope. When we don't define the requirements very well, when we don't state what is included and what is not included clearly, especially if we are working with external customers. So the customer will come and say, I assumed that this is included. There is nothing written that says this is not included. So we have to be very careful how we will control the scope. Roles and responsibilities for scope management. Who is doing what? Who is responsible for what? And as I said, we create a requirement management plan. So part of these couple of exercises that we were doing is part of the requirement management plan. We discussed how we will collect or elicit the requirements. What are the tools and the techniques that we will use? Who are our stakeholders that we will communicate with? How we will control the requirements. So after we have a list of requirements, who will have the authority to add? Who will have the authority to change? How we will prioritize it. So as I said, we will elicit like 100 requirements. Are they all of the same importance? How we will prioritize it? Who will be involved in this prioritization? Who will decide that this piece of requirement is more important than another requirement? How the product configuration or specifications or metrics will be used? How we will track the requirements? And who will do what? So you need as a project manager, keep your project management hat. You need as a project manager to write down and address all these points before starting the process of eliciting requirements. So requirements management. So we need to define and document. It's very important in project management to document. That's why there is lots of admin work. That's why software designers are competing to make it easier for project managers to document everything in the project throughout the project. So here are a few words that are very, very important. Define and document stakeholder needs, stated and unstated. Or in other words, explicit and implicit. For example, if I'm going to buy a car, do I need to specify that I need my car to have 4 wheels? No. We call this implicit need. So this is something I'm expecting to have in my car. This is something I'm expecting the home button, the homepage button. I'm expecting to have a homepage button in my website. So this is implicit. It became part of this project or this deliverable that people don't speak about it anymore. On the other hand, explicit, I need the logo. When I click the logo, it takes me to the home page. So this is explicit. Some websites, when you click on the logo, nothing happens. But the marketing department said, we want the logo on the left to be linked to the home page. So when the user clicks the logo, it takes them to the home page. So this is explicit. Why? Because I said it, I expressed it. A requirement can be defined as a capability that is required in a product, service, or result to satisfy stakeholders' needs. So this is the definition of a requirement. It's a capability in the product or the service or the unique result of this project. So what this capability does is satisfy a need. And again, needs could be stated or unstated. Needs could be illicit, explicit, or implicit. So the project team collects, elicits, analyze, and record these requirements. And this is very, very important for you as a project manager. The more time and effort you spend on defining and refining your requirements, the more managing the project will be easier. The more communication will become easier. This is very important. Requirements should be measurable. So we have to attach some sort of a matrix or a metric to our requirements. So we totally understand if we are achieving this requirement or not. So for example, in let's say in the website, something that's measurable. Oh yeah, photos and pictures that we are using, the resolution should be certain value. So this is a requirement, and this is a matrix attached to this requirement. So now we know exactly when we have all our photos with this specific resolution, we are satisfying this requirement. And we will create work breakdown structure, and we will talk more about work breakdown structure in the coming weeks. Okay, so we talked about different ways to describe the requirements. We said requirements could be demands, necessities, needs, constraints, stated, unstated, illicit, implied. Here is another way to categorize your requirements. Business requirements and technical requirements. And of course, we have other ways to express requirements. The more you read about this, the more information that you will get. But these are general broad terms. So we have business requirements and we have technical requirements. So the marketing department might come to you and they describe some business requirements. I want to attract my customers, so I want vivid photos. Technical requirements, these are very specific and they have technical jargon to this, attached to these requirements. So the vivid, attractive photos as a business requirement could be photos of specific resolution as a technical requirement. It describes the what the organization will be able to do after the project is completed. I want my website to be user-friendly. This could be business requirement. To translate this into technical requirements, we need to describe the how. Define solutions for how each project needs to be satisfied. Directly linked to at least one of the business requirements. So one business requirement might have several technical requirements to achieve this business requirement. And we use a requirement traceability matrix. So this is a form or a tool that will enable us to see the journey of this requirement throughout the project. So let's see here, what do we have? We have a description, a narrative of the requirement. We have a number, because in project management, we love numbers. We love to give unique ID number to all the elements that we work with. It is attached to a specific need. So this could be a business need or a customer need. So we say this requirement is related to this need or needs, addressed by who will be responsible for this requirement, implementation priority. Remember when we prioritize all the requirements? So those who are given number 1 of high priority, number 2 less, number 3 lesser. So why we do this? We do this so when we are at a point during the project, when we need to do some trade-offs, we can prioritize these requirements and dedicate more resources to these requirements because of the importance of these requirements. Time frame, when this requirement should be ended or finished. This is from IT background, the traceability matrix coming from IT. So it's related to a use case. Yes, Harini.
Hanan, who decides the implementation priority, whether it is the project management or project manager or the other people?
Yes, this is very good question. And when we were doing our planning, remember, when we were doing our requirement management plan, we have guidelines on who will help or be involved in prioritizing the requirement. Say we have 10 stakeholders. Not all of them will be included in the prioritization. Maybe I don't have access to all of them at the same time. Or maybe their role is not as important as other stakeholders. And also it's related to the requirement itself. So for example, if it is a business requirement, so business units will be involved in prioritizing these requirements. If it is a technical requirement, subject matter experts, technical consultants might be the most important people to prioritize this type of requirements.
It really depends on the requirement and the project scope, I believe.
Yes. So
thank you, Hannah.
Yes, you are welcome. So the requirement traceability matrix is a tool that we use to track the progress of this requirement throughout the project. This is a template, and you will find so many other templates. It depends on the maturity of the project management function. It depends on the information that I need to be included in my traceability matrix. We can include other information here. One of you have their mic open, so please switch off your mic. Yeah. So this is again another important tool to be included. So your requirement traceability matrix should link requirements to their origin. Who asked this? Is it a business requirement or is it a technical requirement? It ensures relevancy to the, it gives the business value. It's not there because someone said it. No, it is there because it adds value. It serves a purpose. It allows the traceability matrix, it allows us to follow and trace requirements during the project. And it should be easy for you as a project manager when you see the traceability matrix to understand this requirement is linked to which business need, which project objective. What are the work breakdown elements that's related to this requirement? How this requirement is related to product development and design. How this requirement will be tested. And of course, something very important here, who is responsible for this requirement? And also when this requirement should be satisfied. Here is another simpler traceability matrix. So again, the complexity of the templates that we use depends on the complexity of the project and also the importance of the information that we need to include in our matrix. This is another exercise. I'm not sure if we will have time to do it. So I want you to think and share your opinion. Why do you think it can be difficult for a project manager to obtain good requirements? And what do we mean by good requirements? And how can we improve our ways to increase our chances of getting good requirements? So let's try this first. What do we mean by good requirements?
A final scope, maybe.
Fine. Scope.
A final scope, which has a entire shape to that project.
Final scope. Okay. What else? Manpreet.
Like gives us a clear map. Sorry.
No, it's okay, Harini. I just want other colleagues to join us.
Yeah, Hanan, understood. Thank you.
Okay. Manpreet is not okay. Let me. Okay. Just a second. Okay, thank you. So, okay, so Harini, you were saying, can you repeat what you said?
A defined scope which gives us a clear path of what to do next, which can allow us to plan ahead so that we do not have any surprise during the next phases of the project cycle.
Okay, the key words that I can get from what you said is defined and clear.
Yes.
So good requirements means that they are well defined and they are clear. What else? So let's write down these points. Okay. What else? Defined, clear. Yes, Raya?
Something that will add value to
Hello.
the business.
Add value. Perfect. What else?
Yeah, I think the scope, boundaries of the work is also a good requirement for the project.
Okay, boundaries. What do you mean
Yeah.
by boundaries?
Boundaries means that the project should be completed in a period of time. We can say the project start date and the project end date.
Okay, so these are constraints.
Okay. And deliverables, we can say.
It should be
Deliverables.
feasible.
Yeah.
Excuse me? What
Yeah,
else?
the project should be feasible. It should be achievable, something like that.
Feasible.
Yeah.
And a project should have a properly trained resources.
We are talking about requirements.
Yeah,
Okay,
resources.
let's see
Okay.
here. Realistic. Okay, I like this. Okay, consistency, consistent. Okay. What do you mean, Suraj? What do you mean by consistent?
Being consistent in I mean in whatever ways we are managing. I mean, as a project manager, in achieving the desired targets, being consistent in everything, basically.
Okay, I understand consistent here as okay, something that we will not change that easily.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just thinking out loud to link your common sense to the project management terminology. Mansi, you said expansions. What do you mean by expansions?
Expansion to the scope or to the which can add the value.
Okay, so again, here it's adding value. Okay, yeah, it's linked to this point. Okay.
Adaptability.
Adaptability? What do you mean
Yeah.
by adaptability? Easy to change?
Yeah. In a project, the requirements are not static, right? It can change anytime. So the project should adapt to the new requirements. Like that.
Okay, is this a good thing to have in your requirements so that they are easy to change?
Maybe in the IT side,
Yeah, okay, yeah, now I know where you come from. Because I believe you are from IT background, right?
Yeah.
Yes. In IT, we usually use adaptable methodologies. So we have some sort of flexibility to change, but actually to a limit. You don't want these changes to be frequent.
Yeah.
So you have, we call it volatility, you know, in your project. Everything is changing. Your customer every day comes with a new opinion. They see something nice and they come to you and they say, let's change this to green the next day. No, let's change it to red.
Yeah.
So yes, you need some flexibility, but at the same time, not too much. So you will have, you know, a never-ending project. Yes, Harini?
I think a requirement must be necessary.
Necessary. Okay. What if I ask for something? I'm your customer and I ask for something and you think it's not necessary. How will you deal with it?
No, I think a customer will not ask for it if it is necessary for him or her in first place, because it adds some. I have to analyze the the requirement that she is asking, whether that is going to add a value for my company or a project or my organization, only then I will try to include it as a project. Only then it is going to be a necessary attribute for me, like it's going to increase my profit, or maybe satisfying my customer also might be my necessity as an organization. So I might take it into consideration.
Well, I think it comes to, again, to adding value. Because the word necessary, okay, I'm your customer and I asked for something. Will you argue with me that this is not necessary? So maybe the right way to express it is to say, does this add value or not? Is it linked to a business requirement or not? Yeah. Or is it linked to the a project objective or not? We have few inputs here. Risk check. Okay. Ruth, what do you mean by risk check? Ruth, you wrote risk check. I don't understand this. Okay. Well, we will do risk assessment as part of your job in project management, or as a project manager, that you have to address risk. So later on, we will assess risks associated with the different requirements. But right now, we cannot judge if this is a good requirement or not. So I'm not sure. We have here few inputs: organized, structured. I think this will add to the clarity of this requirement. Attainable, yes, attainable, especially attainable within the project constraints. Given the budget we have, the quality requirements we have, or standards we have, the time frame, can we attain this requirement or not? It's something like SMART goals. So the other question is, why do you think it can be difficult for a project manager to obtain good requirements? Yes, Jaya?
Different stakeholders will have different requirements and they may clash.
Yes. So what we call it, conflict of interest. Conflict of interest. Yeah, I might want a requirement and another stakeholder actually wants the opposite. Yeah, Harini, yes?
I think project manager might not have access to each and every stakeholder who has a requirement to the project. For example, project manager cannot directly go to a customer and ask what he needs for the company. So he might depend on the market and marketing and sales department, where there might be some miscommunication that might happen.
Yes, I like this. Miscommunication could make it difficult. Accessibility, or having access to the stakeholder, availability of stakeholders, also the tools that we are using. We might not have enough tools or the right tools to solicit the requirements from our stakeholders. What can we do? We plan effectively for requirement management. We think before committing to the process of all the tools that we can use, how we can get access, techniques and alternative techniques to have access to the stakeholders and to elicit the requirement. Planning, yes, yes, planning.
Stakeholders disagree on stakeholders disagreeing on a new plan, probably any requirement we need.
Yes, perfect. Yes, actually, it happens. It happens all the time. Disagreement. So that's why part of the techniques that we use is workshops and facilitated group meetings. Sometimes this is the only way that we can have some consensus or agreement on requirements. We bring people together, and that's why project management requires very, very good communication skills and interpersonal skills, because you need to deal with these conflicting opinions and conflicting ideas. So I want to show you this. This is a scope template that we use. And actually, I was going to ask you to write down your scope statement for HelloFresh. Right now, you know your stakeholders, you discussed the requirements, so you sort of have some requirements, and you have a specific way to prioritize these requirements, so you can write down a scope statement. So in the scope statement, of course, because we are project managers, we love templates. So we include information about the project, the contact information, of course, the project team. And here is the most important parts here. So description of the project and background of the project. So these two elements are important, because you will build your plan, your scope management plan, based on these. What is the project and what is the background? So in the case of HelloFresh, marketing department and customer service have received complaints that our website is not user-friendly, or some of our customers express the difficulty they face in accessing or navigating our website. So we need to redesign our website. This is the background. So what's the project scope? To redesign the website using a new theme, using a new logo designed by the marketing department, and including these requirements. And now we can include our requirements. So quickly go back to your groups and write down your scope statement for this project. So a paragraph describing the background of the project and a paragraph describing the scope of the project. Okay? And I'll give you 5 minutes. Okay, welcome back. So in 1 minute, I want one of the groups to share their statement with us. Who are ready? Come on, we don't have time to waste. Group 2?
Our team lead,
Okay,
is typing, Hanan. He will be sending it.
Okay, you can share it directly. I can stop sharing my screen and you can share it directly. Okay, Said, are you with us? Jay Said, are you with us? How about Jude? Jude Sebastian. Anthony?
I'm there. Yeah.
Okay. Boja? Okay, this is too bad. Actually, this is too bad. I cannot waste more time,
Yeah.
you know, detecting your attendance. So,
Yeah, hi, Hanan. I'm here. I'm Pooja. Yes.
okay.
Sorry, I was on mute before you.
Okay. So, so I quickly, one of you share your scope statement with us because I want to talk about the exercise or the assignment for next week. So where is the team that was supposed to share with us? No team wants to share with us?
Anybody can do that, or you're expecting from particular group? I mean, I lost that part.
Well, any team, please share with us your scope statement so we can go and talk about the graded exercise.
Okay, this is group 3, and we were noted down about the scope of the project. So this is the entire documentation we do from the starting to end of a project, and the scope is to decide the deadline to deliver a particular the actual product, and the requirement plan. It's about the requirement plan, something like it should be completed within 3 weeks. So the cost, budget, and the deadlines, everything we mention as part of the scope of the project.
Okay, thank you so much. I don't have much time talking about your scope statement. I think it missed a few key points. But this is the graded exercise, the scope statement. So you work as a product researcher and product manager with a large Canadian fast food company with 200 locations across Canada. So think of, I don't know, not McDonald's, some other a company, only 200 locations. McDonald's have thousands of locations. The company's core business is coffee sales. So this could be Starbucks, however, or coffee culture or Williams. However, in the past decade, the company has expanded its operations to include a variety of food products. As a result, the company's reputation is low grade, particularly with its food products. Senior management has asked you to research and manage a project introducing healthier food options. So here the keyword is healthier food options with improved taste to the company's menu to keep pace with the competition. The company wants to introduce new food options by December 1st. So you have a few months to do it, almost a year. The project will include the following components at a minimum. See, these are the requirements. and these are important. So research healthy food options available in the fast food market, analyze the options, recommend food options to introduce to the company's menu, develop the processes needed for the company store to sell the new food options. Create a scope statement for your project based on the course information and the e-text. I will post my presentation later after this class, and of course the recording, so you can refer to these. Don't use other sources, so you don't need to use other sources. Instead, use the scope statement in the week's presentation, the PowerPoint template. So use one of the scope statements that included, okay? If you will use resources, either the PowerPoint or the book or whatever, the course material, use the APA format for referencing and citing. So, any question about the
assignment?
exercise? Yeah.
Hanan, can we use the scope statement template that you showed us just
Yes.
before? It will be accessible for us, right?
This is a photo.
Okay.
So this is a photo. You can easily use Excel sheet or Word to do it.
Okay, all right, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Thank you.
Yeah. If of course all these information, these are assumptions. You can add whatever. The most important thing to me is the description of what is required and the background of the project,
Okay.
and what's
Is it
included in the scope.
Okay, all right. Is it okay to assume the project names? Because
Yes.
as you know,
Yes. Yes.
we can go with the dates and
Yes.
assumptions
Yes.
here, right? Should
Yes.
we mention about the assumptions?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
assumptions and constraints. Now you have one constraint here is the
Time.
time. Another constraint, what's included in the scope. So maybe the budget that's not clear here, so it will be part of your assignment. The deadline, I believe the 29th. The deadline, let me see. Yes, the 29th. However, okay, it's due 29th, it means that the submission box will be closed on February 1st.
Does it mean we can submit our assignments on 30 with the 10% reduction? Okay, all right.
Yes. But frankly speaking, I don't deduct late. So you can consider February 1st is the last deadline.
Thank you,
Without
Hanan. That
deduction.
is
Yeah.
so nice
Without
of you.
deduction. Yeah. So so only refer to the material that we have. We have here in the scope. So you can have so many materials that you can read and see, and I also encourage you to do the practice quiz. Don't wait until the last minute before the final exam to do these. So any question?
Hanan, if
Yes.
you're using the citation of some references, are we supposed to include in this an introduction or the bottom line of the
No, the
page?
bottom. Yeah, you create a reference list at the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And please, the instructions were clear. Just refer to the course material. Okay, we want you to use the course material. So all of you, when you use the course material, we can compare. No, the quiz is not graded. No, the quiz is for your exercise or practice. I advise you to do the quizzes several times from, previous terms. Most of the time students do the quizzes just before the final exam, and this is not enough. So when you do it now, you can do it later. So you will do it several times. It's practice for you. And these quizzes are linked to a question bank. So you might get different questions the second time you do it or the third time you do it. So this will be good. Okay, so yeah. Okay, everyone. Yes, do you have another question?
No, Hanan, I just
Oh.
wanted to say we have the next class. We will.
Yes. I was going to say, if you don't have any questions, thank you so much. That was a great session, and I will see you next week.
Thank
Bye-bye,
you.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank
See
you,
you,
Hanan.
Hanan. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Hanan. You have a nice day.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye. Have a good day.
Have a good day, all of you. Bye. Thank you.